you through the transcription of all the material laid out in front of us, the letters and so on. The last ones are more to do with post the hanging, after the hanging, and to do with the reporting of the events in the graveyard, and the snitching on Capel Loft, actually, mostly. To put it bluntly, they're from local worthies who witnessed it and then report his behaviour to the Duke of Portland and other people, which results in his final striking off the bench. The problem that I have is that some of the material is very, very difficult to read, and I have to make a decision about whether to take any notice of it at all, or just make up. The gist of it is fine. I can understand what he's trying to say, and it's more to do with the emotion that's involved. There's a lot of ranting, a lot of real anger about what's happened. It's on the day of the hanging, or the day before. The dates are odd. It's on the 22nd, but she was supposedly hung on the 23rd. But there is an indication here that from somebody else that she was hung on the 22nd. But anyway, he has this last letter, 11 pages, that he writes to the Duke of Portland, and it's repeating the same process really, that she was innocent, that these are the facts, that that Joseph Clark was the guilty one. I mean, it goes over and over, and especially his account of how controlled she is, basically, and how she is respectful and dutiful and all those, and decent and all those things that he regards as the framework for innocence. So it's an impassioned, hard to decipher letter, which I think goes to the crux of his character development, and which is becoming the point of the whole story, is the character development of him. There's lots of characters in this, but he moves substantially over the 3 weeks into someone who has only got visitation rights. He decides to visit her. He rebukes her, and he feels apologetic about this at some stage, and he thinks it's been too severe. But her personality begins to affect him, and he begins to see the injustice of it all, and it reflects on his own view of Britain and justice generally. And I think by the end of it, he's not only got angry and impassioned, but he's given up on the system, basically, and especially the system of law. He just can't understand it, and I think he finds that the visceral thing, the thing that he cannot move forward with. So there's a huge change in those 3 weeks, and that represents the time scale probably for the book. The letters do, in that sense, 3 weeks, longer if you take the offence, but the 3 weeks while she's languishing in prison up to the point of her hanging, from the trial through to the hanging, that's the time period. But the paradigm is his emotional shift, and the way other people impact on that is kind of secondary, but it's part of the subplot. I still feel I need to understand what he's saying, even if ultimately it doesn't become part of the story itself. I still need to decipher it as much as I can.